Welcome to Elevate Your Game, Business and Mindset Talks. Today I got Jaxon Tippet. Jaxon, welcome to the podcast, mate. Thanks very much for coming on.
Thanks for having me on, Chris. Excited to have a little chat and fourth episode in for you, and let's try spark some motivation or whatever avenue we go down, and hopefully this convo inspires someone or someone takes some piece of advice out of it and use it towards themselves in a beneficial way.
Definitely, mate. That's exactly why we've got the podcast. So, mate, you're an elite fitness coach. Can you tell us a little bit about your story, mate, and how you got started?
Yeah, man. So just was heavily into sport when I grew up. Loved my AFL, basketball, all of that. Was just always athletic, and that was from my upbringing with my parents. They raised me very healthy, and just like don't play video games, don't drink soft drink, all of that, and all of those little habits led me to obviously, very very obsessed with fitness, I suppose. And then I got more obsessed in it during my teen years in high school, and got really obsessed with it where I actually gave up the sport and then got into the more bodybuilding, and just got so obsessed with my body image, bro. Like so obsessed it was toxic, which obviously led me down a very hard road for probably 7 years where I was heavily addicted to steroids, and other drugs, but steroids was my main drug. And I was just, it was just a hard 7 years, bro. Like any drug, it comes with side effects if you abuse it. And I abused it very hard, and I'm pretty grateful I'm still here today. I should either be in jail or be dead. Or if not, be dead in another way, which is, we can go deeper into that, where I tried to attempt suicide 3 times. There's a reason I'm still here, and I'll keep it short and sharp, but I'm a big believer that God gave me another chance, and that's all I can be grateful for. So yeah, I'm here for God and my family, and I'm just trying to have a crack at life and see what comes out of it.
Yeah. So you mentioned you got heavily involved in steroids, or you were taking steroids. Was that because you were chasing a body image?
So partially, like as I said, with any type of drug, you get a high.
Yeah, of course.
You get a high, and that's when, then there's also a down low. But that's where people get addicted to drugs, is because they chase that high again. So I was getting the high off, obviously looking better, recovering like a motherfucker, libido through the roof, feeling alpha, all of that type of shit. And then it was just so hard to get off, because it was like, if I get off, like all of those results, they slow down. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, and I get it. Like, yes, now I'm obviously not down that road because I'm focused on longevity, health, and all of that. But you get trapped into it. And I just got trapped into it so hard where I would actually, try actually get off steroids, and I actually couldn't. And I just physically stayed on them, which is so bad for the body. Not just testosterone, like multiple compounds that aren't meant for your body. And we can go so into context with this, but even like thyroid drugs, and I was pumping insulin and stuff that you don't need. You know what I mean? It becomes a risky game, bro. Like I remember, injecting insulin one day before my workout, because that's what you do. You inject it, then you put your carbohydrates in, and it creates a better pump and more absorption of the nutrients to the muscle. And I take my insulin, and then one day I forgot to bring my carbohydrates with me, because you'd have to take it, virtually straight after. And I was driving, and I had nothing on me, and I literally almost went hyperglycemic. Luckily, there was a servo, like literally 2 minutes up. I would have probably had another minute on me, and I would have just died. Ran in, grabbed a Coke, and it's just like little things that I look back and I'm like, fuck, I was dumb. You know what I mean?
It's bloody scary, mate.
Yeah. There's been a lot of life lessons that I've gone through, which has probably shaped me to who I am today.
Yeah. And what advice would you give to that younger self? Those people that might be listening. What would you say to those guys that wanted to start out to look good and to start working on their body? What's your word of advice for them?
Yeah, just honestly, it's you versus you. Stop comparing yourself to others, because it's going to become a bit of a mind fuck and a mental trap for you. You know what I mean? You start comparing yourself to others, you're never going to be happy. There's always going to be someone on another level or something more fancier than you or someone with a better body or whatever it may be. So I think the best thing to do is just focus on you, focus on your goals, try to be the best version of you that you can be.
Yeah.
And also don't set your standards too high. You know what I mean? Like give yourself a pat on the back if you've done something you haven't. Like you don't have to always beat yourself up. That's what I was doing the whole time. Like it's just so hard on myself and I'm not here. But how about have a look at how far you've come? Like you might not be, Chris Bumstead or whatever, or you might not be whoever it may be, but I think you got to just give yourself a pat on the back if you're moving forward each day. And that's the main thing.
Yeah, stop being unrealistic.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like set some realistic goals and just be happy with the present. Like that's something I wish I could have done. Like I'm so happy with the present right now. Just enjoying each day where I wasn't doing that in the past.
Yeah.
I was too focused on the future and too focused on the past. I wasn't enjoying the now.
Yeah. So with your fitness goals, what are some easy goals that listeners can sort of adapt immediately? I mean, I've spoken previously with Rudy, who you're also great friends with.
Yeah.
Having daily mind feed, waking up and reading a book, giving some positive thoughts into your mind. What are some things that you can recommend to people to take up, to start on their path to bettering themselves?
Yeah, it's a good question, and obviously this can go into very hard detail. It depends how you want to do it, but some basic things that I do is gratitude. Gratitude is the biggest and first and foremost thing I do every day. I wake up and I express through my head 3 things that I'm grateful for. It can be the smallest thing, you know what I mean? Like it can be, it could be the ability. I woke up today.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna lie, man. I don't know if I'm gonna wake up tomorrow. And that's the hard truth in life. It could be, I've got a roof over my head and I have the ability to go move my body and exercise freely.
Yeah.
Whereas people would put that through their head as, I got to go exercise.
Yeah.
How about you utilize it like, fuck, what if you're in a hospital right now or you're on
you
your
can't
last...
walk, you're on crutches.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And that's the type of mentality I try to put on my clients and obviously myself. And then there's a lot of things like obviously exercise, moving the body, vitamin D, meditation. You can go so far into context. I pair stuff like ice baths and saunas every day. There's so many benefits to that. Obviously just nourishing yourself with some whole foods. Like, do you know how many people around the world don't even eat whole foods? Like they literally live off packet foods, stuff that we don't even know what's in it. I'm not saying you have to be a full 180 straighty, but it's your temple. Your body's your temple, and what you put in it is how you feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
of course.
It's made me realize a lot of things, and I'm really starting to treat my body like it's a temple now.
Yeah. And when did Jaxon Tippet start in business? Like you're an elite fitness coach, right? You're also a model and you have your own podcast. When did you start your business journey, and at what age did you start in business?
I don't know exactly, like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was just your typical personal trainer at gyms, barista. They were probably my main 2 professions. And I just got over it. Some boss telling me what to do every day. Literally got over it, man. And one day I was just like, why don't I just have a crack at this and just take on social media or be my own boss or start my online coaching? And just literally been grinding every day since then. And will never look back. Never look back and do, what I used to do. And that's the thing is anyone can do what they want with their life. There's a lot of people that work those office jobs, 5 till, 5 p.m. or whatever it may be every single day. And they work to live, you know what I mean? And they don't even enjoy their life. But what they don't realize is we all have the same life and we all have the same capability. We can do whatever we want with our life. And I think that's the fun of it, you know what I mean? That's why I'm so excited now is I'm actually passionate to wake up and do what I do, you know what I mean? Whereas a lot of people, they don't have no passion in what they do. So what's the point of living?
Yeah. So I totally get that. Like I'm self-employed as well. And I've been self-employed for a very, very long time now. And I think that is one of the best things about it is being able to run your own race. You're not having to be somewhere at 5 o'clock
100%.
And clock on for those 8 hours or 10 hours. And I'd also have to say that isn't enough either. Like if that mindset that you have as well, you know, working those 8 hours for somebody, getting that paycheck every week, it's not enough, is it?
Yeah, yeah. I think the freedom's a massive thing that I've taken out of it. The ability to basically be anywhere in the world and earn the same dollar and dictate my days.
Yeah.
And when I say dictate my days, it doesn't mean I just wake up and do nothing. I actually grind harder, but you can dictate your days. You know what I mean? Like you can break up your work. There doesn't have to be set hours. If you want to take a day off, you take a day off. Like it's a lot more freedom and also freedom and time. And you know, time is short. So I think those two things are massive.
Definitely. And would you say that you're very passionate about what you do, Jaxon?
I love it, bro. I
Yeah.
fucking love it. Like I don't just do one thing, as I said, but I just love what I do overall. Like it all kind of ties in with the fitness. Then I help people with their, you know, mental health issues and that on calls. And then, you know, I do a bit of modeling that and I love fashion. And then I got my podcast where I love speaking openly and I kind of love it all. You know what I mean?
And would you agree you'd have to definitely be passionate in something that you want to do?
100%, or you're just chasing the money.
That's right.
I don't even look at the money, bro. Like I just, you know, I'm not saying I'm absolutely killing it, but I'm not bankrupt. I'm just enjoying life and the money flows.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
Yeah.
And what would say some of your challenges that you faced when you originally started out on your own, like working for yourself?
Self-doubt.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's what a lot of people suffer is self-doubt. They don't back themselves and then they don't pursue their dreams, you know, or they, as I said, they set their goals too high too early and then I'm not here where I want to be in a few months. So they give it up and go back to their old ways. Nothing good comes easy. Nothing good comes quick.
It doesn't.
And that's what I realized is I could have thrown in the towel a million times. So many days I woke up and I'm like, fuck this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to do 1,000 DMs and these calls and do all this shit. And then I'm like, I could be doing a lot worse. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's mentally hard, but, you know, it's also not everything is going to be 100% pretty. You know, you still got to put in the work. But overall, I love what I do and I love seeing the results of helping people or, me helping someone in some way, shape or form. I think that's the biggest thrill out of it.
You really have to choose your hard, don't you? Like, life's not easy. I mean, but we've all got challenges. Whether it's one thing to another, we're all facing some type of challenge in life.
100%, and that's what people don't realize. We are all suffering. We are all, and that's why mental health is so important too.
It is.
You know, just check in on your mates and just be kind. Like literally, just be kind. It's very simple, but you never know what your words or your actions could do to someone when they take that away from when they leave you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think it's just the world just needs to be a bit better place where it's more kind. We help each other. We're not as competitive. You know what I mean? Like I just don't get it. It's crazy.
Like, look, it's all right to be competitive, but I totally agree with you about being kind to others. I mean, I've had multiple situations where you bump into somebody and they look like they're the angriest person, or they might have flipped you off, and you turn around and give an act of kindness, and it just crumbles that person.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, you don't know what's going on in their life, do you?
100%. You don't, man. So like, just keep it to yourself, and it's like the saying, don't judge a book by its cover. You know.
Yeah.
I've been around some of the baddest looking motherfuckers that are absolutely just the kindest humans, and then vice versa. So, just
like we're talking in a car, right? I grew up from Mount Druitt. Like, you can't, just because you come from somewhere doesn't mean that's who you are, right?
It doesn't define you.
And you could have all the tattoos in the world, right? But that doesn't mean that you're a bikie or you're a drug dealer or you're a badass.
And don't get me wrong, fucking oath, there's so many people out there that are fully tattooed that are in that stigma.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I'm in that.
No.
You know what I mean? So.
But that doesn't also mean that everyone else that has tattoos is in that stigma either, right?
100%, yeah.
There's a lot of people out there that just, they have tattoos to tell their stories.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And they love the art, and that's why they do it.
Yeah.
And then there's other people that don't have tattoos that are actually worse than the drug dealers and the bikies, you know?
Crazy.
You got suits and judges and other people like that, and they're, like, they're kitty fillers and whatever else. And, they're the baddest of the bad, right?
Yeah, it's a crazy world.
I think money and having everything doesn't really make you happy, does it?
Nah, bro. I've hung around a lot of people, man, that are, very successful with their money, you know, very, very wealthy, and they're just absolutely not happy one bit with their life, you know what I mean? And then it's just like met people with next to no dollars and they're just so vibrant and happy, just doing the
Very
most
humble.
simple things, you know what I mean? So that's another thing. Like money comes and goes, and yeah, it really is it's a crazy thing, you know. It's turning the world around. Like it's just it's crazy that this paper note
Yeah.
is causing so much destruction in the world. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know we need money, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I totally
Yeah.
do. Look, it breaks families up. Like
Right, 100%. I've lost so many
yeah.
mates through money, and it's just like it's sad just over a fucking bill.
But you can't buy friendship, right?
100%.
You can't buy. There's a lot of things in this world that people say, "Oh, if I got money, I've got everything." But really, you can't buy happiness. You can buy things that might make you happy, but when that sort of wears out, there's
Yeah,
no internal happiness in it, is there?
It's like materialistic things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I used to be into that. You know, you'd buy something and oh yeah, it brings a bit of dopamine or endorphins in for a little bit, but it doesn't actually buy happiness forever. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Tell me, have you got a good story for us? You know, something that you can share with us that would inspire that younger person coming up that wants to be an entrepreneur, that wants to take a leap of faith in something. Can you share something with us? A little bit of advice for that person.
Yeah, probably not even advice, just basically like I'm no different than anyone listening to this right now. Like if anything, I was at the lowest of lows. I had everything against me, you know what I mean? And I just decided to one day have a crack and turn my life around. You know, I wasn't happy with the individual I was. I wasn't happy being around the circle I was and doing the same things and getting nowhere, and you know, just being brain fogged every day from drugs, like just literally just escaping reality and not even knowing what I was doing. There's so many people out there listening right now that are, you know, going through these same
Of
situations,
course.
or they're, you know, in and out of jail or in and out of rehab. I've had so many mates that they just never move on. And I just want you to know that there's more to life and you fucking can move on. And, you know, I hope that this sparks a bit of motivation, but, yeah, I hate to see it, man. I hate seeing people, you know,
Down on
take their
themselves.
lives, or
Yeah.
you know, addicted to ice for 7 years and they can't even speak, but they're a good human, and you know, in and out of jail and seeing their families absolutely heartbroken. I just think there's more to life. So yeah.
Yeah. I think, look, I know myself, I've been around a lot of friends and I've seen a lot of that as well. And I had to break away. I think it's very important that you sort of, when you want better for yourself, you need to make sure that you surround yourself with better people too, right?
Bro, 100%. Like I say it a lot on my podcast, your circle's everything. And it truly is, bro. As soon as I removed myself from the circle that I wasn't happy with, where I was doing all these bad habits, you know, drugs, etc., and removed it to obviously what I'm doing now, in a positive way, your life just changes. You know what I mean? Like it's as simple as that. Like just yeah, look at who you surround yourself with on a day-to-day basis, or look at the stuff you consume, you know, whether that's the content on Instagram or what you watch or whatever it is. All this stuff affects you as a person. And if you remove yourself from that, if you're not happy with the current situation, I guarantee your life will excel from there.
Of course. So a couple of episodes ago, I had my dad on, right? So he comes from the Netherlands. He pretty much packed up everything and moved over to Australia for a new life. Just backed himself and went for it. I always believe that when you try to do something in life, you really need to back yourself, right?
100%.
And if you're going to take a chance, you can't give yourself that plan B, because then you really set yourself up to be able to fail,
Yeah.
right? How can you relate that to sort of what you've done yourself? You know, you started out yourself. What were you doing before your coaching and your modeling? What were you doing?
Personal training.
Personal training.
Yeah.
And as soon as you took off and wanted to do for yourself, did you give yourself a fallback?
Yeah, hitting my lowest of lows, you know what I mean, was the best thing I ever done. Because if I didn't probably hit that absolute low, you know, where I should have went to jail, all of these things, man, attempted suicide, all of that, then I probably would still be that person right now. But, you know, because I hit that low and it was so hard and I've seen so much suffer, I am the person I am now today because of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't look at anything as you know, like why did this happen to me? Like everything happens for a reason,
Yep.
and I'm grateful that all that stuff happened. As cruel or as bad as that might sound, it shaped me to who I am today.
Yeah, look, the past does really help us to become a better person, right? And to be a better human.
Yeah.
When you decide that you're going to go and make a decision in business, for instance, and you're going to go and attempt to do something, what's your thought? What's your thought process on the idea? Do you just come up with the idea? Do you start to calculate what can go wrong? Tell me,
Oh
what
yeah,
does
I'm
Jaxon
just
do?
constantly brainstorming, man. Like, man, I'm thinking of other stuff right now. Like, I'm just always, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'll just think of it and then think like whatever it may be. You know, will this have a success? Like, you know, just add up stuff. I'll write notes. Just yeah, constantly just thinking, ticking, and seeing if this option that I'm gonna do or whatever it may be will shape me to be a better version of myself.
Yeah. So I've got a saying with my dad, and it's if you stand still, you die, right? So would you be able to relate to that saying in regards to if you stand still and you don't do something in moving forward to make a business decision or make that choice, that you're just going to stand still, you're going to die?
Yeah, to a degree. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I'm always moving.
That's why you're always doing stuff.
No, dead set. It's true, but you never see a successful person just, you know, they're always doing something. So,
Yeah.
yeah, some people say you almost got to be a little bit crazy to, you know, to be successful. And I believe that, you know what I mean?
I get that all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's ADD or that's
Maybe it's a bit of both.
it's a little bit of both. Look, mate, how have you been able to maintain your discipline over the years?
Man, that's a good question. I think discipline, man, you put me on the spot. Discipline is key, you know what I mean? So I think you just got to be disciplined every day. And the daily habits you do every day will shape you to the person you are. And as much as you don't want to do those little things every day, just being consistent and showing up and, you know, putting one foot in front of the other, those are the big things that actually help you to become successful. And it sounds so simple, but just get up and win the day, win the morning, you know, do something that you're passionate about, you know, move the body, always be thinking of new ideas or something you can do to help yourself get better. You know, manifestation, all of these things. Yeah, that's probably what I would say.
Because we know that, you know, motivation, that leaves us at some point,
Yeah,
right? So
100%.
we have
It
to
does.
be disciplined and we have to keep maintaining a schedule or a program, because if we don't, the motivation goes and we stop.
Yeah.
So for someone who's struggling to stay consistent at the moment, what's the mindset shift or habit that you think they need to have? How can they adopt something? What would you recommend to them to try and adopt?
Yeah. Just keep replaying through your head why you wanted to do this thing that you want to do, you know, like whether it's a fitness journey or something. And as I said, like, don't set your goals too high, but don't set them too low. So make sure you set them so you can achieve them. And then just constantly just progress and move forward. Having a coach it's a great thing, you know, in so many ways, like accountability. I think that's one of the biggest things like people lack in life.
Yeah.
And coaches have coaches, you know what I mean? There's levels to this. You don't, just because you're a coach doesn't mean you can't have someone mentor you or coach you or help you in some way, shape or form become better. But yeah, I find the accountability is a massive thing too, especially with a lot of clients. I know myself, like if I have someone telling me, you know, what to do kind of on the side and that you start to do it. But if you just constantly, you second guess yourself, you know what I mean, when you're by yourself. So you could be doing things that you don't need to do just because your mind's playing games. So I think coaches are a really good thing if you're struggling with that area.
I think having a coach does help a lot, because
Definitely.
it gives you that sort of path. Somebody can give you that advice. You know, sometimes sitting there and asking your mates, they're not going to be able to steer you in the direction where you want to head because they're not really doing that themselves, right? So social media is a great tool for your brand, right? It's massive. It's a great tool to use. And it also has its downsides. What kind of advice would you give to people that are trying to have a go on social media? I know there's a lot of hate out there, and some people are just keyboard warriors. What advice would you give those people that are trying to have a go out there on social media?
Just stay consistent, you know what I mean? Put in the work. Nothing good comes quick. Don't worry about the haters. You know, you're always going to get them in life, but you never see anyone above you hate on you, and I'll say that for a reason. People that hate you, it's a projection of them, you know what I mean? It's got nothing to do with you. So don't let that affect you at all. But just stay consistent. You know, you do have to just be consistent with your social media. You can't just, I'll pop in here for a bit and then I'll die off. And it has to be something that you really are passionate about and you put the time into every single day. Just like anything, you know what I mean? Just like training. You can't just go to the gym once a week and then like you have to be consistent in some way. Same like with your work, you know, you can't just rock up once a month and you're going to excel with your business.
Of course.
So I think just consistency is a massive thing. Yeah.
And have thick skin because we are going to get haters, right?
Absolutely.
There's going to be plenty of people out there talking shit. And
yeah, man. I love the haters,
right?
you know what I mean? It fuels me because it means that I actually am doing something, you know, right, or they're not happy seeing me from who I was to who I've become. That's usually what it is.
So have you got any strategies for people for their personal growth? I mean, over the years, you've developed a thriving personal brand. What kind of strategies could you offer other people to probably implement to help them to grow?
Discipline, routine, surround yourself with good people. Yeah, that's probably those three things.
Look, man, I really appreciate your time.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, for me, this podcast is something that I've invested in, not for likes and follows.
Yeah.
Certainly not to get myself out there. I don't really want to be famous, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's more to try and add value to some listeners.
And that's the best part of it. You know what I mean?
If there's a small part that anybody can take from what we're talking about, what I was talking about with Rudy or any of the other past guests, and it can help somebody, at the end of the day, that makes me happy, right? So
that's literally what I say with every podcast I do. You know what I mean? Like, if it brings value to someone or helps them, I think it's a massive win. And I know each and every episode you do will help someone in some way, shape, or form. And I know this one will. And I'm grateful for you having me on. I know it was short and sharp, but, you know, we got some good messages out there. And if anyone, you know, enjoyed any of this conversation, you know, obviously share it around, tag me and Chris. It would mean a lot. And any feedback is more than welcome. But yeah, thanks for having me on.
I appreciate it, Jaxon. Thank you very much, mate.
Thanks, brother.